Hey guys, welcome back to another work in progress for my MegaSize Zaku II. Alright, so again, I'm trying to show as much as I can in this work in progress series. So the next step is, like I said, that I'm just going to be working on removing some seams. So I've already glued a few seams. I'm going to do a little bit more gluing now. A couple things I just want to show you here. I finished cleaning up the holes where I removed the spikes in the shoulder armor. Also cut out a bit. Again, looks really ugly on the inside, but that's never going to be shown, so it's okay. I had to do that just because so that I can set the piece of plot plate. I'm just going to cut out a circle of plot plate to cap that on the inside. I need to set it from the inside, so I needed to cut out that space there that was all just blocked off like this. So anyway, that's done, but this isn't glued yet, so I'll glue that a little bit later. This part is glued, so just already got that on there. All I need to do now is just sand that part. I'll just glue another part here. Another thing that I do just want to talk about briefly is my plans for the head. I did decide to use the head with the V-fin part, but what I'm going to do is make, not a V-fin, a commander antenna. Commander fin? V-fin? I don't know. Anyway, what I did decide to do though is to, as I mentioned before, I wanted to change the shape of this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a new horn that's a little bit more in the shape of the Zaku Stutzer. I really don't know how to pronounce that. It's German, but that's from Advance of Zeta, and it has a really cool shaped V-fin, or I keep saying V-fin, horn. I'll put up a picture of that there. You can see. I'm not going to make it exactly like that, but I think kind of similar to that. I want it to like come down a little bit more and just to be kind of very like square in shape. Luckily, this gap here to hold this into the head is exactly 1 millimeter, which is the same as this sheet of plot plate I have here. So I can just cut a new shape out of this in a plot plate, and it'll fit into there just perfectly. So that'll be good. So I'll come back to that a little bit later. What I do want to first just show you guys is some plot plate gluing. Another thing, I guess before we get to that, let's take a look at this here. I think I just said plot plate gluing, didn't I? I really can't talk, so I should try to make this work in progress short, because I guess I'm really having trouble speaking at the moment. But I meant seam line gluing, so that's boring, so we'll save that. Here's another just quick thing that I wanted to share with you guys. Now, this is something I've talked about in a few reviews. Sometimes I don't put in this plastic part, the clear part, into the scopes or something like that. In the cameras and the weapons, because then there's no way to get it out. Like you can like hit it and it's just not gonna come out. So what I just want to do is just show you guys one way to get that out. Usually the best way to get out parts like this, or sometimes you have like chest vents or something like that that also just don't come out easily. And so the best way to do it is just drill a hole into the part behind there, and then you can just push it out with a toothpick or something. So what I'm going to do on this camera here, luckily on the back of it, there's like just this hole here, so I can just drill straight through that. No one's going to notice a hole in the back of there. And then I can just push out that clear part, and then just I'm able to take it in or put it in or take it out anytime I need to. So just going to drill this out here. There we go. Again, just enough. Now I can just take a toothpick and pop out my clear piece. There we go. Now I do have a hole in the back of there, but that'll be painted, and again, probably no one's ever going to see that. I'm probably going to do something. I haven't exactly decided what I'm going to do for this camera lens, but probably going to use some Aurora film on that anyway. So again, that'll be covered and like that. Now, this is the camera for the bazooka. On this one, there's nothing here, so I'd have to just drill a hole in the back of this. One thing I could do is drill that hole and then just take this out and then just cover that hole Again, I could just put a piece of plot plate here, a circle piece of plot plate, or just some other detail part there just to cover the hole, and then just once it's all done and painted, and then just pop this clear piece back in. But what I'm going to do is first change my drill bit size here, because I want to be able to take it in and out whenever I need to. So what I'm going to do is drill a hole up through this bottom part here. So we have, luckily we have this gap in this part, and I'm just going to drill up through that, and that again, it'll be in a place where no one's ever going to notice it, so it's not really going to be a big deal. And there we go, and through. But now the problem is, I'm not sure if my toothpick is going to fit through there. Let's see, not quite. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, use this. This is just a really fine Q-tip, but this end's kind of done, so I'll just cut that off. This is thinner, so this will work, and I'll just keep this around for if I need to do this again later. The problem is this is not really strong enough to push this part out. Alright, well, because this bends like that, I guess a Q-tip is going to be better, but because this Q-tip is, or sorry, I guess a toothpick is going to be better, but because this toothpick is a little bit too big, I'm just going to whittle it a little bit so that it will fit into that hole. Yes, I realize I'm cutting towards my finger. I was lucky not to cut myself that time, but that's, again, you just want to be a little bit careful. There we go. So that wasn't as easy as I'd hoped it would be. So I guess I will just leave this clear part out until everything's totally done. But anyway, the point is that it's out, and yeah, I could put it back and take it out again if I need. So like if you're doing that for like the chest vents of a Gundam or something, there's no way to take them out. What you can do, just drill through the back of the chest part and just pop out the vent part. And anyway, so that's just this little thing I just wanted to show briefly about. So let's talk about gluing seams. Let me clean up a minute here first. Alright, so I'm not going to show you removing all the seams because there's quite a few parts. And like I said, a few parts I have already glued already, but I'm just going to do this one here. Now, in my past video, I have shown on video how to remove seams in my Gunpla building tutorial kind of build series before, quite a while back, and loads of YouTubers have showed how to do this before, so I don't think I really need to do like a full tutorial about it. But just one thing I did want to mention, because I haven't really seen this particular style of doing this really too much on video. Usually what they'll show you is like you have one part and you put some glue on one side, put some glue on the other side, then stick it together, and then you just do it like that. But one other way that I've kind of found is maybe like a little bit lazier, or maybe it works better, I think, kind of, is to just leave the part together, but just open it enough so there's just a little bit of a crack there, and then you just run the glue in the crack, and then you just press it together. And that's it. So I think this is kind of easier, especially because this Tamiya extra thin cement is great for removing seam lines, and this is what I think most people probably use. But it dries really fast and runs. It's really thin. So I'm just being really generous, just putting plenty of glue in there, just because it dries so fast. I want to make sure I've got plenty of wet glue in there. So let me just hit this with plenty of glue. Also, my glue bottle is very low, so I'm not really getting a full amount. And then just press that together, and you want to see that little bead of glue come up like that. Just press it together really good. It helps if you have like some sort of like clamps or something, and I've been meaning to get some. But you really only just need to press it just for a few seconds. Like a minute max, and that's enough for it to be stuck together enough that you can just let it go and set it to the side to dry. So this came out good. It looks like I've got a good bead going all the way there, so that means I'll have an easy time sanding that down later. So the other reason why I'm not going to show you any more of the gluing process is because this glue is really toxic smelling, and I really need to wear a mask while doing this, so I'm gonna put my mask on, and then you can't really hear me talking while wearing my mask. So I'm gonna work on some more of the seam stuff, and then I'll come back with one more thing I want to show you in this work in progress video. Alright guys, so actually two more things that I wanted to show you. The first thing is, before I'm able to make a new plot plate horn, and before I'm able to make some plot plate filler cap parts for inside there, I'm going to need to cut off some plot plate here. Now I have, this is the Tamiya Plastic Scriber 2. I really only ever use this for just cutting off pieces of plot plate from this sheet here. I don't actually really ever use it for any scribing. Just the way that it works and feels, it just doesn't really. I'm gonna actually turn that around. A little bit crowded here with all these big parts on my desk, but I'm just gonna use my ruler here. This ruler, I guess, has cork on the back, so it sticks nice and firmly. So the thing about cutting plot plate or scribing, anything like when you're doing something like this, you just want to go over it a few times really lightly at first. All I'm really doing is just cutting just a chunk of raw plot plate just to have something to work with for cutting out smaller bits of it, so the precision of this cut really doesn't matter that much, but just so that I have a nice clean cut here, I'm just doing it slowly, and you can see it's pulling out these bits of plastic there. I think I'm pretty much almost through this, so I'm at the point now where I can just go ahead and just snap that off. And there we have a piece to work with. I'll just stick this piece back here in my stash. So now that I have a piece I can work with here, what I want to do is just trace at least the bottom shape of this horn here, so that I know like kind of the shape of the part that actually fits into the head, and then I can make then I can just draw out my new horn and then just cut it out. So that's pretty simple. So I'm thinking I want to have it extended down like that, so I know I'm gonna need to cut out some space down from there. So like putting it like over here would not be a good idea. Anyway, okay, I think I'm just gonna go. And that's it. All I was concerned about was just getting this kind of general size and shape there, so I know the part that actually fits into the head. And even if it doesn't, whatever I cut out, even if it doesn't end up fitting in there quite perfectly exactly, I'll still have, I can anyway do some more about that. So let me see here. Alright, so after a bunch of cutting and testing, I had one failed attempt and had to cut into the head here because I'm going to have it going down. So let me put the middle part in there first, and I won't put the mouth and nose piece, but anyway, here's my new commander horn, or horn for the Zaku, is going to fit in there just like this. So that is how that's going to look. It's pretty close. It's a pretty good representation, I think, of the Stritzer. It's not quite exactly the same, but it's pretty close. It's close enough that I think it's going to be pretty interesting looking when it's all painted. It looks really odd and now just because it's white and green, but when it's painted actually all in the same color, it should look pretty cool. I think it definitely gives it a much more unique look attached onto the body. You can sort of get an idea. Anyway, it's going to be looking like that. So yeah, that part's done. Okay, so then the last thing that I want to show in this work in progress video is what I'm going to be doing with this and these. If you remember, not too long ago I got some Tronex tools. One of the things that I got here was these little needle nose pliers, and that's the main reason I got this was for bending wires. Now this is like floral wire, or anyway, it's really malleable. It's not very hard at all. It's really easy to just bend this by hand, but I want to get some nice, like clean, really small bends, so that's what I'm going to be using this for, is just getting some nice little bending of this wire. So yeah, this wire is not very hard. If you're using a different kind of wire, I guess it maybe would be more hard, or definitely a different gauge of wire. This is 1 millimeter thick. I think will be a pretty good thickness for what I'm going to be using it for. So what I'm going to use it for is like this. I already did a test piece here. And just going to be adding like this little bit of, I'm not sure what you would call this, but sort of like, anyway, this bar here around. And again, it's looking a little bit odd now because it's just like this gold bar on the side of the leg here. But what I want to do is just add some pieces like here, and then across the bottom of this section, and then around the back here. So like it won't cross over these panel lines that are on there. So there'll be like one more here, one across the back, and then here and here and here, like that across the bottom. And so right now I think I'm just gonna do it just here on the bottom of, just around the lower leg. May end up doing it on some other places on the kid, like maybe around some of the bottom of the skirt armor or something like that as well. But this is just something that I've wanted to try for a long time. And you sometimes see this on Gundam kits. You see it kind of more often on like other things, tank kits or Machine & Krieger kits or something like that. So basically what I am doing, I just drill the holes where I want them, where I'm going to be putting the wire through, and then just working it through. So what I'm doing first is just using my knife to mark the spot here. So I think this one's going to go right about there. Try to keep it like in a uniform distance from the edge to that one. So right there looks like a pretty good spot, I think. And then I'm gonna have that go here and then bend a little bit and then go to right about there. I think that looks pretty good. It's that spot. So just give the knife a little twist. Someone recommended that before in my recent Gunpla quick fix video. What I was doing, I just used the knife to just pop out a little bit. There is what I usually do, but someone recommended that you can just twist the knife. That definitely seems to work a little bit better, I think. If you're using, I don't know, a different size drill bit, it may not be the same thing, but I'll just go ahead and just drill through these. Alright, so that's it. There, the holes are there. So now I'm just going to check about how much wire I'm going to need. Not that much. Here, just something like that. Just so I have plenty to work with. Just again using my old nippers for this. This wire is not very thick. Like I said, not very thick, not very strong. So just cutting it with my old set of nippers there. And also, just from handling it, it's already like not quite straight. So just to straighten it out, I can just kind of roll it here, or try to. It's kind of a small piece, so maybe a little bit difficult. Just trying to roll it on my mat here will help to straighten it out a bit before we start working on that. So got that straight, and just bend one end first. Just carefully, like so, give me just a nice little 90-degree angle. I can pop in one end, and then I can see that needs to go down to there, and then right about here needs to bend that way. That bend is actually a little bit off, so I'll take this out, roll this flat again, because I bent it the wrong place. There's pros and cons to this wire being as malleable as it is. I think I do wish it was a little bit more rigid, but there are, like I said, there are some good points to it being a little bit softer. That looks about right there, like that, and then I need to bend it where it's going to go in. And just press that down into there, and there we go. Now I've got that. Show it to you guys a little bit closer up. So it's not like just totally flat up against the part. There is a little bit of a gap there. It's kind of hard to see, but there's like a 1mm gap between the actual part and the bar. So this one, once it's set in there, I'll just use that. So what I was using, or what I used for the first one just to set that, is just use my pliers here and just bend the end on the inside like that. So I can just kind of work that a little bit just to get it to about where I want it. And yeah, so it's going to be looking like that. So I think when it's painted and like it's blending in there a little bit more, it's going to look pretty cool just to have this just for some kind of more extra detail in there. I don't actually really know how it's going to look. I hope it looks cool, I should say, but it's something that I wanted to try for a long time, and I think this is a kit that that sort of thing will look good on. So we'll see once I get primer on it how it's going to look. I'll probably do this just for one leg and then spray it with some primer just so I can see how it looks before I go in and do the other leg and any other parts of the kit. But so that is the general idea. I'm going to go ahead and do some more just off camera. I'm going to just work on a lot of the sanding and stuff and doing some more of this. So the next work in progress video will be a little bit of a jump ahead, but it will be kind of just mostly just kind of boring stuff I'll be skipping over. So see you guys in the next work in progress video. Thank you for watching this one, and see you next time. Bye bye.